Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a very special breaking news edition of Primetime Gaming with Mr. BoomStick and King, because that is who is driving this crazy car down the crazy town. King, listen, you did something where the Sony ninjas tried to take out ILP last Sunday, where they stopped your stream multiple times. Jim Ryan was not having the whole hashtag hold the line out there for people to not give up faith on this ABK deal. And you still read the world, the riot act. And here we are today. We have breaking news courtesy of FOSS Patents, also known as Florian Muller. He has confirmed that there are two different reports, Reuters being one of them and Bloomberg being the other, that the EU decision to clear Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard King is in fact going to happen. And what is even more exciting is that this news or this decision, King, was supposed to come on the 23rd of May. They have moved it up. And apparently, according to these reports, which we're going to break down and read verbatim from the articles, it's coming the 15th. King, first of all, welcome. It's great to be working with you again. How the heck are you, man?
I am fantastic. I'm at a point right now where I get a chance to watch all the frauds burn. And it's like,
I love it.
It's incredible to see how little faith you individuals have and how much receipts I get to collect.
Oh yeah, knees too. Plenty of knees.
It's not, these dudes don't bet. They're not about putting anything on the line. They only come outside when it's safe. It's a weird type of generation, and some of the generation is older, like us.
Yes.
And you get a chance to see individuals post stupid stuff on Twitter, like I'm not gonna be staying with Xbox any longer. I'm getting rid of my X. So what? Leave. Like it's the dude in the club that he's leaving and everybody's having a good time, and he's like, yo, the party's whack and everybody's smiling and having a good time. He's like, I think I'm gonna head out. Bro, just leave. If you walked out the door, nobody would ever known you left, and don't worry about it, man. It's no problem. The party will go on without you, and trust me, we're better without a wet blanket. You have a lot of wet blankets out here. When a deal was supposedly nixed by the CMA, oh, it's over, that's it, they need to pack it up. Listen, dude, anything worth any effort in this life, and this is a lesson that you're going to learn very early, you're going to have to put some effort into it. And it may not go right the first time, but you don't give up at the first time. How many billionaires are out here that if they would have gave up, they wouldn't be where they are?
Absolutely, 100%.
How many people regular civilians and professionals that in their life they've heard no, but if they turned around and turned tail and changed their stance, they would not be where they're supposed to be. You got to stand for something, or you're gonna fall for everything.
Yeah. I saw that you posted that, and we have a couple of special guests joining us, King. The very famous Post Up is on the way home, and he's gonna jump on to break this down. And you know what? The slanderous one known as the Everborn Saga is also gonna be rolling through. And you know something? There's even one other special guest, Hargi Chani. Is going to pop in here. Folks, this is an impromptu podcast. It's breaking news. And I figured, let me reach out to all of the big guns that have been on board with this since inception. King, as we wait for the rest of the panel, I do want to pull up the article This was posted a few hours ago. As a matter of fact, it's about a 1 minute read, and this is coming from Reuters, folks. Florian Muller, who is known as FOSS Patents on Twitter, is someone that you need to follow. Him and Post Up, for that matter, have been on top of the ABK deal since inception with great leads and points of information that you don't get anywhere else. So if I were you, if you're not already subscribed or following them on Twitter, you're doing it wrong. But King, this is what it says. EU decision clearing $69 billion Microsoft Activision deal expected May 15th, says sources. And this is coming directly from Brussels. It says EU antitrust regulators are set to approve Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard King next week, with May 15th as the likeliest date. People familiar with the matter have said. Now, the European Commission, according to the article's imminent clearance, comes nearly 3 weeks after the UK Competition Authority blocked the deal, the biggest ever deal in gaming, over concerns it would hinder competition in cloud. Now, there are some key points here that I really want to put into the talking point, because, as I was getting ready for the show, I saw that there were a lot of people that were doing the hashtag don't jinx us, boom, hashtag, I don't want to be let down again. So I was speaking to Everborn Saga. And
Right.
as you know, Everborn Saga is very, very knowledgeable. He understands these things a lot more than I do. And why this is likely to happen, why this is kind of set in stone, not like what happened with the CMA, is because Florian Muller also added to the conversation where, after the Reuters report, Bloomberg's The Terminal is also reporting that the EU Commission will approve the $70 billion deal. Now, if you're not familiar, and I wasn't familiar, I just want that to be clear. I'm aware now, King David, because of the knowledge that was passed on to me by Everborn Saga, where he told me that this isn't Bloomberg having someone give their opinion or their thoughts on it. The terminal apparently is used by billion-dollar companies to invest. So if they are reporting, that means that they have the correct information, because billion-dollar corporations use and pay thousands upon thousands of dollars per user to use Bloomberg's The Terminal. So now we start getting into what now, King. First of all, let me get your ultimate takeaway, because you and I were talking privately, and you and I kind of both believe that there is certainly potentially some collusion between
Hmm.
DC and the CMA, and if that is proven, that is a crime. Now, that comes on the heels of um, Lena Khan having to confirm that she did not collude with foreign entities like the CMA, but people here in the United States, in the Senate, in the chairs that be, don't believe her. I think we're going to see the S hit the fan. But let's talk about the EU passing. What does this mean for you?
First, I know there's some trepidation from individuals about us even approaching this conversation before there's concrete proof of it passing. Because like a lot of others, I got DMs and sources and the CMA was supposed to pass, and the CMA was in favor, to be honest with you, with no concessions. And then Ms. Khan found her way over there to have a conversation, and you have a conversation, and the conversation supposedly had um no talks about what is going on. The biggest cases is going on that they're working on. Apparently this was supposed to not have taken place. He was talking about other things. Okay. And then the CMA comes back and they block the deal. Um there's signs of where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, you being a police officer, if you had a witness and he was going to corroborate or something like that, and then you hear, you know, somebody talk to him that shouldn't be talking to him, and then they change. You would figure that they tampered with the witness, or they tampered with evidence, or something of a nefarious nature has went down. You know,
Mhm.
as far as you being a ex professional in that profession, right?
Right.
So
You
I
know, can
mean,
I add to that if you don't mind,
yeah,
King?
go ahead.
Because I was telling this to Kay Asante while we were talking prior to the show going live. You see, everyone, if you don't know, I'm a retired New York City police officer. I did it for 21 years. I had a real serious back injury that cost me my career, but now I'm a full-time podcaster, right? That's what I do with my life. I can tell you for an absolute fact. Now, I don't know business law, but I understand criminal law, and I will tell you for a absolute 1000% fact that if I was caught speaking about an open litigation case with another attorney, I could potentially lose my job. You are not supposed to speak out of turn. Now, this information comes the way of Ecstasy's One. Now, if you don't know who he is a podcaster, a very awesome podcaster from La España. He's from Spain. I had him on a couple of weeks ago, and he actually just posted this, King. It literally falls right in line with what you're saying. Lena Khan, in new remarks, has rejected allegations that her or her agencies has crossed constitutional bounds by improperly cooperating with the CMA and EC in an effort to block Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal. This is a big deal, King.
Yo, ambition is a dangerous thing, right? And ambition can cloud your judgment in making the proper moves, because your political ambition can allow you to do things that aren't on up and up, and those things come back to haunt you.
Yep.
You know, I hope and I pray for her that that's not the case. You know, because for us, this is video games. You know, for us,
Right. Of course. It's just
this is a
silliness.
hobby. This
Yeah.
is something trivial. For her, that's her life. That's her livelihood, and that's something that she staked her reputation on. And that's not something that you can, you know, you can get back easily. You know, once you damage your reputation, you won't be able to. You know, people won't believe you. You know, later on. You know, it's like the person that cried wolf. But so now that we have this thing happening in the EU, uh decisions coming up, I always told everyone, by hook or crook, Microsoft is going to get this done. They have the best lawyers on the case. You have ABK that just hired lawyers for each
Yes.
division.
Yep.
All right,
Mhm.
so that's each individual division. That's Activision, that's Blizzard, and that's King, hired individual high profile lawyers to appeal the decision. Okay, that's separate. You don't think the EU looked over that? And first of all, the EU and the CMA don't get along.
No, they do not.
All right. So
Yeah.
if 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 they were to go with them, they'd be like, we're agreeing with these dudes that we really don't like. So regardless to what, it's natural inside their personality to be like, I'm gonna do opposite what they're gonna do. That's just me being funny. But I honestly believe that they looked at it objectively. They looked at the arguments on both sides, because you don't want to make the same mistake that somebody else makes, right?
Right.
And you don't want to walk down the same path that somebody else did. If you saw those mistakes, they say, okay, well, hold on, let's look at the arguments for real before we give any decision. And they look at the arguments and they're like, wow, you know what? They were right on this part and they were right on this part. They was kind of wrong over here, but maybe we can have some amenities to this or do that, or we can have stuff worded differently. So if you see somebody make a mistake, hopefully, if you're intelligent enough, you won't make the same mistake and you can right whatever wrongs it is, right? That's the benefit of going second, right? Sony did it to Microsoft. Y'all remember? This is how you trade games. Remember?
Yeah.
Right? Because had Sony went first, you would have found out that DRM was inside the box, the camera was inside the box, and it was the same price as the Xbox. But
Yep.
because Microsoft went first, the world got a chance to say, we don't like that. It stinks to high heaven. And Sony said, yo, hold the show back for an hour. Let's rewrite this. Let's fix this up and let's
Mm-hmm.
get this out the door. And they came and they were able to write a travesty,
Yep.
right? Because, I mean, trading games and stuff like that should have been somebody was asleep at the wheel. They was too ahead of their time. In
Well,
what they were
Terry
doing.
Myerson, obviously he wanted to kill the brand, and obviously Donnie D didn't do Xbox any favors with
Right.
some of the decisions. So, I mean, really, at the
It
end of the
worked out.
day, 2013 was a failure at leadership, and that's why Xbox lost that generation, and they found themselves in a pickle.
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise though.
Yeah.
Because had those individuals still we don't know where we will be. But hopefully the EU gets it right. Hopefully the EU allows true competition to be had because I guess they get a chance to see exactly what Sony's doing. We're locking up all these exclusive deals with games. And when the landscape is truly an even landscape, and people are able to use whatever strengths they do have. Sony can use business connections. That's good. Microsoft can use money. That's good. Nintendo's can fall back on their pedigree. That's good. And
cardboard. Don't forget
yeah,
And
cardboard.
listen,
They can
cardboard,
fall back
they
on
yes.
that too.
made cardboards. I was not a believer in that cardboard, that Labo stuff, but when I saw them doing that Labo with the piano, I'm sorry, they made a believer out of me. So can't lie. I cannot lie.
Oh man, listen, well, King, let's welcome in Everborn Saga. I don't know how many minutes you got with us, brother. I know that you
I,
might not be able
I,
to make the
I'm
show, but
I'm good until somebody pings me. I got a
all
meeting that
right.
I'm
Well,
supposed to go into, but that
let's
may
break
not
it
be for
down.
an hour or
Yeah, well,
maybe 10 minutes. We'll
that's
see.
we're probably going to be about an hour and change. We're just waiting on Post Up is going to join us as well as Hargeet Chani. And I've also sent Infinite Umbra the link and a few others. So we're trying to gather the posse, if you will, and break all of this down. You had a lot of interesting things to say, and I want you to because you'll definitely explain it better than me. You made mention specifically about Reuters being that's a big deal, right? That is a big deal. But there's also something else that you made mention on, and that is the Bloomberg uh, follow up where they have also heard this. But there's a certain part of what part of Bloomberg that it's called the terminal. Can you
Yeah.
explain that
So
for us here
right.
to what that
The
means?
the terminal is a Twitter account, but a Bloomberg terminal is like a service that you pay
Mhm.
monthly for. It's very secure. They use it on trader floors. I used to work. I still work in the banking services world, but I used to work at one of the big banks on the trader floor. That's the service they use. And what I was saying to you before is that information is very privileged, it is very important, and is very well sourced. And people use the Bloomberg service, terminal service information to trade stocks. And I'm talking about traders at places like Goldman Sachs and Citi
Yeah.
and JP Morgan and things like that. So it's not nothing is what I was trying to say, it coming from there. It could still go either way. But before, that was New York Post saying, Microsoft was going to shove the deal down the FT3's throat. That was the BBC or through the Financial Times and New York Times that said the CMA was set to approve, and they probably were, but things changed. Reuters did not report that, right? And there's a
Mhm.
difference between Bloomberg law opinion, Bloomberg opinion, and things like that, and the terminal saying this. So you should give it credence, but again, I just caution people: don't count your eggs before they hatch. Like, get the actual information, right? So that's why I
Right.
said wake me on the 15th when we have actual word, right? So the other thing is, by the way, King, shout out to you, sir, for having a spine when
Thank you.
when the
Thank
rank and
you.
file was breaking. You know what I'm saying? You told them this is Sparta, right? Now the thing is though, and I'm a little biased here, so you can hold this against me or don't. I just don't want to. It's not that I don't think that they should go for it. It's not that I don't think they have a winning case. I just don't want to do this for another year because I feel like this held up the Sega acquisition.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Fair.
I want that to happen because I feel like while this is definitely a crucial asset, I don't play COD games, right? I don't play Warcraft. I don't play Candy Crush. And I know, and King, I know you know that there are deals that were passed up because of this, like
Yeah.
Crystal
Well,
Dynamics.
Yeah.
And
Crystal
all those
Dynamics
other
is one of
things.
them. Yep.
And so,
You know, I mean, embrace us, holding the bag. Microsoft will double
yeah, but
back and get their stuff.
they could, but now it's gonna take longer. So for me, I'm like, I know that once like if this gets approved from the EU, that puts the battery in Brad Smith's back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that says we're gonna fight this thing till the end. And fighting this to the end could be another year of, not getting Sega or letting some other things pass you by. And so for me, those other things are more important. So I'm of the mind, like, if you can't close it by the original date, let's move on to the stuff that we care about.
Well,
Yeah, I see
the
your point.
the biggest thing with not closing on the
But
original.
just one more thing,
Yeah,
King. I'm
yeah.
not with none of the doom and gloom stuff,
I know
right?
that.
I thought it was a lot of yellow belly
Yeah, slap
King
suckers.
said that
fair
in his
weather
opening.
friends around,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
And that's what you called out. But I am of the opinion that I'm tired of this deal, and I want them to move on the real targets that there's a world where they could get Capcom if they wasn't going after this. I want Sega, right? Other people want Ubisoft. People want these other studios to help out the platform in places where they got to shore up. So that's what I'm on with it, and I just don't want this thing to carry out. And I know this gives Microsoft enough energy and a stronger footing to actually go this out and stay the course for another year and a half, whatever it takes. And that, I'm like, God damn. Anyway, go ahead. King, sorry.
I'm of the mind, and I'm pretty sure everybody in that building is of the mind. Finish the fight.
Yep.
Master Chief style, John 117. Let's go.
You have to be able to stand for something, right? And you can't command anyone if you don't have something that you stand on. You don't have a platform to stand on. Sarah Bond put out a tweet, and it was, along the lines of, that's, real leadership, or, that's a true leader, or, something of that line of, Phil going up there taking the slings and arrows for the team. Those arrows and those slings, they hurt because, he wasn't in a proper mood.
He was out of sorts, man. Like, honestly, like, I know a lot of
Yeah.
people, King, walked away feeling like confused. I mean, Destin Legary did a big video yesterday about what the hell was Phil talking about. And he was, listen, if you're a fan of Phil Spencer, and I think all of us are, he's very charismatic and he is very pointed, and he is also always on his game. He doesn't side talk you. He gives it to you. He tells you as a fan. He understands the trials and tribulations of being an Xbox fan. He gets disappointed just like we do, but there is no doubt that he was not the regular Phil Spencer because of his disappointment, and it had a lot to do with ABK. It had a lot to do with Minecraft Legends getting, not hitting as well as they thought, and then on the cusp of Redfall. But please continue, King.
Yeah. But you have to be able, if you're going to lead somebody, they have to see it, right? They have to see it. They have to see your words manifest. So at the first sign of true trouble, you don't throw somebody under the bus. You don't say, "Oh, these games didn't sell proper or whatever, and we're gonna have to deal with Arcane." Nah, that's not how things go. Yeah, it was some ball drop in there. We know that. We know that he went on Kind of Funny and that interview was set up ahead of time. So he thought that he was coming into a round of applause, and you coming in off of Redfall, you coming in off of the CMA. Now you coming into a firing squad. And you gotta hope they got blanks. Because from what Paris Lilly and the team was saying, Microsoft didn't tell them they couldn't ask any certain questions. They
Mhm.
got the full gamut. They were able to give the hard hitting questions, and that's also on the leader himself. Listen, let them ask anything, because I'm pretty sure they pulled them to the side like, listen, I don't think this is a good time. The worst thing you could do was back out of that interview and have that talk in the background, and you want to inspire. He knows what's on deck. He knows what's coming, right? And sometimes you can't say anything because everything is lined up. But all you can do is just inspire the troops and hold the line. Now you got some dudes that is going to desert, some dudes that's going to fall for the propaganda and go to the other team. Some dudes is just going to, run, and you want to thin out the herd as
Yeah.
fast as possible, because you want, at the end of the day, when you look over and you're in that foxhole with the dude that's with you, because when the troops do arrive, and when the things do turn around, that dude that's with you, he's with you. That's why in a lot of circumstances, people are lifelong friends, because of the things that they've been through and they've been through together. And they always remember Calvin that ran. They always remember the dude that left them in the lurch. They always remember. And I know this is video games, dudes. I know this is. But at the same time, you and your boy go to the store to go get an Xbox, right? And y'all like, yo, this year we gonna get the Game Pass, we gonna go get the stuff, and we gonna get the playing, we gonna be doing this, and y'all playing every other day. And then some games come out over there. Yeah, y'all play those games, but y'all right back at it. And then your boy ditch you. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna go over it. But I don't like it over there. I thought we were supposed to be doing this together. I thought we was in this together, and he did you. You never forget that dude, but you find dudes that's in the same war with you, and you build bonds with those guys. And then when everything is rosy and that dude comes back, yo, remember me? Nah, we only is a 4-man team. This is a 4-man squad. We don't got space for you. But go over there and play your Ragnarok. Go rock over there in the corner by yourself. But we only got 4-man team here. So all I'm saying is, you can go ahead and leave. It's cool. I don't care. I'm not asking you to stay. All I said was something to inspire. And if it touched you in a way, good. Pause. But good. Stick around. It's going to get real fun.
So here's the thing, right? And people I think confuse what you're saying, because there are very serious not language, but just like reading comprehension skills and listening comprehension skills. So a lot of people think that they're being individuals and they're being sort of free-minded. And they think that because when you say hold the line, you mean that Xbox and Phil can't be criticized. You just gave them the smoke for the Starfield delay. You said it was unacceptable.
They don't listen,
right? Right? So they wasn't listening to you then. You can absolutely criticize things. You can criticize Redfall for whatever it is.
I did the same episode.
Right. And what the issue that I saw is that these are the same people that were singing all of the praises all year up until April 25th. They loved the direction. They loved Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, they couldn't get enough of that.
They loved Wolong and Atomic Heart and Game Pass.
Delicious.
They couldn't stop talking about, Minecraft Legends is about to be that joy. I'm playing it with my friends. And then as soon as there is this sign, and again, the CME thing is uncontrollable by me, you, Xbox, Phil Spencer, anybody. So that's not a sign of Xbox messing up. That's a sign of the CMA's decision for whatever wild reasoning they had, right? Now, if you want to give them smoke for the Redfall, Give them the smoke for the Redfall. Why
Indeed.
it ain't no damn cutscenes?
Yeah.
Why can't I get a takedown animation? Why did you take your eye off the ball and let this out when you know you have better quality control with this? Because we can see
Mm-hmm.
that by the other games you release. That's where the smoke is. All of the other things is you saw everyone being upset in the doom and gloom, and now you want to fit in with that crowd, or the doom
Yes.
and gloom has permeated to you. And that's where that's going. And that's where it's coming.
Yeah. 100%. You know,
Can't fix
King,
salt.
I will say this, King. After that announcement, I was heartbroken because, and people say, well, Boom, you're not getting any money from this. Why do you care about a $70 billion deal? I'm going to tell you why I care, folks. And I said this, I'm transparent as glass, and I like to keep it real, or as the kids say, a buck, right? I have a pension. I'm very lucky. I retired at 44. Not many people can do that. That's because my pops sat me down, taught me a whole bunch of things, and I planned my future. And I did 21 years as a New York City police officer. And after 20, we could be out. I stayed longer because I really enjoyed the job. I loved helping people. It was what I lived for. But a freak accident and a really bad back that had me get put back together. And that ended my career. It's fine. My pension is fantastic. I have dental, I have vision, I have medical, I have a great pension. Is it a limitless pension? No, it has a ceiling. And one of the things that Xbox Game Pass does for me is allow me to go and buy a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or a Horizon or a God of War Ragnarok because
AKA
I
Game of
get
the Year. They
everything.
might as well cancel the Game Awards when Big
No,
Link come in
I'm
the
just saying,
building.
but keeping it real, for me, the value of Xbox Game Pass is going to increase tenfold with this deal going through. And that's going to make me a happier gamer because it's less that I have to worry about buying. Now, do I play all of Call of Duty? First of all, I don't play Call of Duty online, so it means nothing to me, right? I played a single player. I'm an old man like that. But there are a lot of studios that are going to come over in this deal that are going
Mm-hmm.
to allow for Microsoft to do some crazy, awesome things. And that's another reason, King, I want the deal to go through. I really hate when people get all in their feelings over, well, it's a $70 billion deal. You got no investment. The F I do because
They
I'm
don't know what
invested.
your stocks and bonds look like. Tell them mind
Yeah.
their business.
Yeah, no, but
And let me tell you something. First of
You
all, your
ain't see my
pension,
Fidelity account.
your pension is constantly being invested and reinvested into the stock market, right? So if you don't think they have these blue chip stocks and these high value stocks in that pension plan being rolled around, and if you don't think they're not looking at this ABK deal and seeing where the money should go and how we can make more return on our investments for the pension plan, Boom has a bigger stake in this than the average consumer.
Wait a minute though. Hold on a minute. This is the problem why I don't even like to even entertain those questions, right?
Right.
Because it's only low IQ people that's gonna tell you why you reading so much. Why you understand so much about that deal. Who taught you Octagon? Right? So the thing is this, right? It's it's always the people that have a vested interest in the deal not going through, and it's for fanboy reasons. And we're all fanboys. We're all fans. That's why we're here talking about this. That's why people are spending time on.
Surprise.
That's why they know CEOs' names, right? So it's the people who care so much about it not going through that are pointing fingers at you for caring that it does go through, right?
Yeah, for me being
So
an old guy that's capping for games. You
right.
capping for a plastic box. Yes, I
Right,
am.
but they're just capping for the other box.
That's right.
So what it's like, what are we doing? You're not above simping for a corporation just because your corporation is $100 billion versus a $200 billion corporation.
That's
$2
right.
$2 trillion
But
corporation.
they'll tell you, I don't cap for any corporation. But everything on your body is not your brand. Like my mother
Okay.
told me, if I'm going to wear anything, and I didn't understand it at the time, make sure I made it. I'm like, oh.
I
Like,
used to
I
get
don't
that
know
from
what
my
you
pops
guys-
all the time. Like he would tell me
Yes.
things, and I would be like, I don't. What is this dude talking
But
about?
now you got merch.
But yeah, that is
Now you got
absolutely
merch.
correct.
What do I wear? I'm going to the store. I wear. I'm going here. If it's not me, I'm
It's
cool.
somebody. I wear your stuff all the time.
You see? You see?
And King, there is nothing like the feeling when somebody, like I'm at the mall or something. Where'd you get that Everborn hat?
Oh,
That shirt. Who's those characters?
My
It's
Mhm.
like that's what you should do.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Put this into you, right? Put it into your own brand. But anyway, I think you got to ignore that. Like everybody, we're all nerds. We all have some. We're all paying attention to this thing just as much as everybody else. And the only time people say, "Why do you care so much?" is when the deal is going in a way that they don't like. Right? They only say it when it's good news.
Yeah. It's true.
Right? And they're happy. The same people that's saying why you care so much is happy to retweet the CMA blocked the deal. Ha ha ha. What's Microsoft gonna do now? So it's just a bunch of like Spider-Man pointing the fingers at each other. I
Oh,
wouldn't
wow,
ignore
that's
that.
great. I love it. I love it.
You
I love the
want the
Marvel.
deal to go through because you want the deal to go through. Mind your business. How about that? I have my motivations and F you.
I love the smoke. I love the smoke more than anything. I love to be the only guy standing on the hill waving the flag. Let's go. I love to be that dude. I love to be the dude rallying the troops. Let's go. I love to be the dude that you're sitting there, you're making fun of, you're making your videos, you're talking crap about, because when it comes back on top of your head,
Yeah.
and it will, because I'm more right than I'm wrong, what are you going to do the next video? No, either you're gonna become a
They're
fan
gonna
or
pretend they never
become a
cared.
hater.
Yeah.
One of the two.
They're gonna pretend. I
Oh,
never
they're gonna,
said that.
they're gonna go
I
hide.
didn't care.
They ain't gonna be on the
So-
socials.
I got
So you got the receipts.
I got the videos. I save them. I look at it for inspiration.
So, but this is another thing that I see going on, and it's real like junior high school level. Are you in with the it crowd? I'm gonna shout down any dissenter and hope I get enough people to agree with me, so we don't actually have to have the conversation about things. And I think that's a lot of what you're seeing. Like, your hold the line video really hurt people's feelings.
Because
It absolutely did.
They
I
thought they
cheered
were
it.
making fun of you, but they were just advertising ILP. These
I
clowns.
was happy as hell. I said, please do some more. Please do some more. Please. Because listen, we all have a preference. I got both of those boxes inside the room. Always did, always will. Do I want revenge for Sega? Hell yeah.
Yeah, of course
And
you
I
do.
pick the biggest bully that is going to get the job done. And this is the job that got to get done. So when it happens, and when Sega does come over, when this deal gets over, and Sega does come over, we right back at it again. Now we can get right back to the fight. That's the fight. So yeah, I've witnessed a lot of consoles go. I witnessed a lot of them, and at the hands of Sony. Y'all don't know how bloody Sony hands are. It's real.
Oh, they're very bloody.
Fun,
yeah.
right? They're really good at what they do, and you got to respect the enemy at all times. But again, do I think the games are going to go away? No. I want Microsoft to own them. And I want y'all to clip that, and I want y'all to post that and put that up and promote me some more. Go for it. But this is what I want, because y'all in turn want Microsoft to go away. And if those words hurt you when I say that I want PlayStation to go away, how do you think it hurts me when you say you want Microsoft to go away? So I'm just giving you back the medicine that you're giving me. That's all.
And then they'll say, no, I just want Microsoft
to
to
do
do
better.
better. You
They are.
lying son of a
69 billion worth of better. Let's go.
It's well, I am going to say this, guys. The one thing that I find funny, we talk about frauds, we talk about people, yellow bellies. I see it in the chat. People, giving up on Xbox, people, piling on the rabbit. And, obviously, if you're a Bugs Bunny fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
People who built their names being Xbox fans and then maximize that audience. And so now they switching over to the other thing to go and dunk on Xbox and then get that audience.
Well, you know what happens, and there's a pause coming with this. When people expose themselves to me, pause. they get on the panel. They get on the pay no mind list, and quite frankly, after you know what? I keep seeing people talk about Dirk Griggity. I love that dude. That guy. That's my guy. That's a good dude. I was on his show once. I got to get back on. I got to get Dirk back on here. His POS of the week is just it's just amazing. I just laugh. I know, trust me, I'm gonna get Dirt on here for sure. But King, look, what this does ahead of the Xbox show. So now, obviously, this is a primetime gaming special, right? This is not what we're doing tonight. We're gonna do the regular 7 p.m. We got a lot to get into. There is some rumors floating around. Now, this news, King David, comes on the heels of the expected showcase, which is happening in a couple of weeks. Jez Corden, as Jez Corden does, put out a tweet that he's hearing things that has him excited, but he is not going to spoil anything. Now, there is a picture that I used for tonight's thumbnail that is floating around that has an Xbox logo and in that Xbox logo is Hellblade 2 and Avowed. So now people are starting to run with, are we going to see these at the show? We're going to talk about that tonight because I think that we are. And if this does pass on Monday, which is the 15th, right? That's when it's expected to get the announcement. Europe is ahead of us. We're going to get up early, and hopefully it's not a disappointment like the CMA. This is going to be good for Microsoft. This is going to be good for Xbox because it's going to get the fan base excited for the show that, listen, depending on who you speak to, as you can see, folks, I'm playing Redfall. I put 55 hours in, and I beat it with Layla. She was awesome, and I started playing with another character this morning. Yes, the game has monster problems. The AI is dumb as stumps. Trying to climb things is a problem. There's no death kill animation for sneak attacks or silent kills, which is kind of disappointing. No cutscenes. There's a lot that they need to fix. But I said in my tweet last night at midnight when I beat this game has bones. Play it if you like. Don't play it. Tell Microsoft you're not happy with the game. Let them know that this game did not meet your expectations. You should do that as a fan. But King, I want to get your take on this. If this in fact is true, okay, this is going to set a good path. And I say that because we hear that Sony is doing their show the week of the 25th. That came the way of Jeff Grubb. And let's call a spade, folks. Sony is going to have a killer show. They haven't had a show in 2 years, and they need to show their fan base. We know Spider-Man's coming. We know Final Fantasy 16 is coming, but that's it. Because Forspoken was a dud, and that's fine. The duds happen. For a lot of people, this is a dud. So they each had one. King, what do you think this is going to do?
Just 1 second.
Yeah, jump in. Absolutely.
About Redfall is that I played it for a little bit. I had a little bit of fun with it, but I got upset with the lack of cutscenes.
So if you see, like it climbs when it wants to climb. There's a lot of problems.
Right. So it to me, it's not up to Xbox standards.
Correct.
Right?
I agree. Yes.
And so they deserve any and all smoke they get for it, and I will not push back at anybody that is upset about this specifically. The other stuff is where I start to look at people sideways. But yeah, sorry. I just wanted to add that.
No,
this game is not up to Xbox standards.
It absolutely is not. And it's not up to Phil Spencer's standards. Yeah, 100%. King, I want to get your opinion, but I want to welcome in the second best beard in the business, Cargy Johnny.
Nah, his
What's
beard
going
is
on,
crazy
brother?
when you
Listen, I
actually see it
didn't
in
know we were going
person.
to get to, we didn't know because obviously you're going to be on tonight, and I'm sure we're going to reiterate some of the things that are being
yeah.
said right now. But again, you have been at the forefront of calling the CMA out for getting it wrong. Jed Gordon actually brought up a number on the Xbox 2 podcast this past weekend, which was pretty damning for the CMA's argument. Apparently, 5,000 people, 5K, not 5 million, not 50 million, 5K, 5,000
Yeah,
gamers
5%.
on Xbox play in the UK. Now, why that's interesting and
On
why
cloud,
the
I
same
think,
is the cloud via the
Yep,
cloud.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep, I heard that number. Yep.
Why it's going to ultimately cost the CMA the decision. They're gonna have to fix this is because Amazon Luna just launched in that region to 18 million consumers that immediately had access free to Fortnite.
Cloud. Yep.
So think about that for a sec. 18 million, right?
Mhm.
Instantly in Luna, 5,000 for Xbox Game Pass cloud users. It's a ridiculous thing. Hargeet, this is great news. We've been waiting for the EU. We all believe the
Something,
EU,
right?
we had heard about a month and a half ago that this was
Yeah.
going to happen. What is your hot take? And then King, we're going to get you, brother, in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was. It's just basically sigh of relief, right? At least something is going the right way, right? From the big three, the CMA thing was kind of a massive like, what the? Okay, you blocked it on cloud of all stupid things, and then we had heard about this as being approved it was like 6-7 weeks ago, right before the CMA thing.
Yeah.
We did not hear that about the CMA. What they did do was say we'll take away the SLC for console, which we're like, oh, good, done, right? Who's gonna care about cloud? Oh, apparently they cared about cloud.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's really what this is sigh of relief. I hope it's actually true, right? We'll find out on Monday. We're not done until it's actually here's the actual approval, right?
Mhm.
But it sounds like that is the direction, which is great news. And then it's, what do they do after that with the UK market and try to figure that piece out, right? So, and you were alluding to it, a lot of that comes to cloud. And I just think there's 5,000 users. Really, is it worth it for them? Why not just say we're not doing cloud, or cloud is an extra $5 a month if you want to get it. It's not part of Game Pass Ultimate in the UK market. What? This is just such a ridiculous thing to deal with.
Make them pay more.
Well, I mean, look, it's their country, it's their choice, right? They're making it into a thing. I personally don't even see the value. 5,000 users. Tell me how that's actually valuable. The cost for Microsoft to put up cloud servers, because they have to put up their own Series X infrastructure in London to do this. Tell me why that's a value to them for 5,000 customers. They were looking for billions of customers. That's why they were doing it. They're not getting anything like that, right? So, Phil has outright said it, that they're just not getting the traction. It's not happening now. I don't think it's ever happening, because by the time it might be useful, your devices are going to have so much power locally. There's just no point.
There's no reason to play in the cloud when you hold a massive computer in your pocket.
Exactly, right? As I was saying before, the Samsung the Ultra S23, it's already the power of the Series S. That's today, right? Forget 5 years from now.
So that's an interesting.
ROG Ally's coming out. It's 8.6 flops. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because Activision has
exactly that. Yeah.
signaled that they have no interest on their own entering the cloud market, right? So they're saying that, and again, the CMA ignores that, even though before the acquisition, Activision has been on record several times stating that they don't care about subscription services, they don't care about cloud, and they're not going to do it. And so they're effectively saying that we would rather Call of Duty not be on cloud at all than for Microsoft to have it and put it in the cloud. And so because we think Microsoft having it will kill the cloud market or make it a monopoly, even though it would never go there in the counterfactual.
Yeah, it's so
it in and of itself being in the cloud.
That market.
it in and of itself being in the cloud is an RBC. right? A relevant consumer benefit,
Mm-hmm.
and that's completely ignored. It's interesting. Is the best word I get. The interesting is the most generous word I can give.
Yeah, they're thinking of Xbox Cloud as a platform. The funny part is, well, it's definitely not a platform, but there's more Xbox games on cloud on Nvidia than there are on xCloud because the PC has more of their games, right? That's just a fact, and they don't even see these obvious things. It is what it is. It's like saying that
other than the
because
fact
there's
that
an ABC can't have more content because NBC wouldn't be able to get it. What? NBC can go make their own content.
Yeah.
Right? What the heck does that have to do with anything? Like, what are you talking about?
But
It's
when you have
absolutely
NBC telling the FCC, we don't have
want them
anything
to
to
have Big Bang
compete
Theory.
with.
What?
We don't have anything that can compete with Baywatch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
ridiculous.
the whole thing's lunacy. I don't understand any of it. Whatever. But
the other thing that's going to be interesting, right? We talked about there's going to be a Sony show coming up, right? And what we all suspect is that Sony was playing its cards close to the vest because they locked up all these deals with potentially the likes of not Capcom, Konami, for all those other games. Although we should be clear here. Are we not noticing the same song and dance of, oh yeah, insiders say there's definitely going to be a Sony showcase and they've locked down everything? We've been hearing that for the last, 2-3 years now?
Yeah, but
deals. So third time's the charm? Is that what we're saying?
Deals. Okay. You want me to do how I feel about the shows, Boom?
Elaborate, brother. Guy, this is a conversational podcast. Go crazy.
All right. So the first two, the two shows, the Microsoft show, that's going to be funny because I don't like to comment on stuff that I get, and my only real game that I need to see is the Forza, right? And I'm told that that'll be there, of course. I hope Starfield is very small because they're gonna have their own showcase. So I hope they don't spend a lot of time on it. Don't waste my time on that. Please show me other things like Avowed, show me Hellblade 2, show me more of the Forza of the actual stuff that you was working on for the reason why the delay. And I'm hearing it's supposed to come in the later half of the year, so you missed your mark on June. So you're gonna rightfully get the smoke. It's supposed to be two other games. Those games. Then you have Bethesda's offerings as well, because Bethesda's supposed to do their thing. The Sony thing intrigues me the most because I think they had a deadline on when they have to show. We know those deals are in place. We're not going to sit there and act like, oh, those deals don't exist. The Castlevania, the Metal Gear, and it's another one that they're supposed to be doing. And those are supposed to be locked up.
Silent Hill.
The Silent Hill is supposed to be locked up with them. And I don't care. Yeah, good. All right, fine.
Hey, King, you know who else knows about those deals? Judge Campbell from the FTC, because Microsoft got all those contracts.
That's correct.
Oh, so good. It's whatever. I think it's time for them to show their hand.
I agree.
Just show your hand. And this deal has made either both or one try to look weak or have to look weak in order to get a win in their area. So now we're at the end game of it. I think that you're going to start seeing both companies start to reveal a hand and to get the fan base back to galvanize, because from what I heard, Spider-Man is the only game from Sony this year.
Yes.
Right. And they went on record telling you that. But then they have to tell a fan base, you'll hold tight. We have this coming though. And these games are in the works. And Microsoft has to say, well, Redfall didn't hit, but Starfield's going to be good. But we have this, and we have to ditch that 12-month thing because we're not good at it, right? We have to show you what's coming up now and future stuff to galvanize the base. And I think these two shows from both of them are going to be the most important shows that we had in a long time. But we have over 850 people watching, and please hit that like. And if this is your first time watching Boom stuff, yo, subscribe.
Thank you, sir.
The James Brown of this. He is the hardest working dude in the podcasting.
I just picture Boom with the cape coming back on stage.
You know, when he's about to go off, he's like, wait, there's more.
So King, to your point, I do think Sony has been playing it very close to the chest. I think that they are going to show they're gonna show their cards, because I think this was basically lined up, because I think a lot of people, including Sony, expected this thing to go till around June. Yeah. Right, which means and again, and first of all, shout out to Paris, because he came on GCP.
I listened to that yesterday. Fantastic, and Paris just killed it. And you know what he did for you guys, besides letting people know what an amazing show you guys have on Saturday, is he cleared the air on, because there were a lot of people like, oh, Phil's just damage controlling. Actually, he confirmed live on the air that interview was scheduled weeks in advance. They thought he was going to cancel, and like a real super trooper that he is, he still did it, even though it was cranky Phil, and even though he said something that people took out of context, because he was out of sorts. There's no doubt about it. He was very disappointed.
He definitely gave them the ammo they needed.
All he had to do was put one word at the end of that sentence. Great games alone won't. Alone. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, it's true. That's a great point.
Hold on a minute. You know what, King? I'm glad you brought that up, because I got something I want to get off my chest.
Talk about it.
So everybody, again, because people don't have the American school system has failed us, and people don't have good comprehension. Yeah. Everybody ignores like 3 sentences later in the video where he says he's excited because we're finally at that point
one per quarter,
where we're gonna deliver 1 per quarter at quality, and I don't expect you to believe me until the games are in your hand and they're putting a smile on your face. Does that not tell you, King, that he does? And Xbox does have a pipeline and believe in high quality games, but that's neither here nor there. That's not what I wanted to get off my chest. A lot of low comprehension people, because that's what I'm calling them now. They like to point to, oh, just look at Nintendo. I have news for you about Nintendo, which is amazing, and Tears of the Kingdom will be Game of the Year. They should cancel the Game Awards. I'm saying it out loud. Nintendo pulls in $15-16 billion a year, right? Microsoft is already, so Nintendo's not competing with Sony anywhere near it. Microsoft's already bringing in more than Nintendo. And wait, before the boo birds come in and say revenue doesn't equal profit and Nintendo makes more profit. One, aside from the fact that you don't know the profit that Xbox makes, but Nintendo is only able to do that by selling you cardboard and 10-year-old hardware. That's how they're able to turn a profit. So the good games, those aren't enough for Nintendo either to come anywhere near competing with Sony. And by the way, those good games, most of them were on the Wii U. And how did that help the Wii U?
They sold. It's the lowest selling console in Nintendo history.
Mismanagement in the direction of how he was going to advertise the Wii U. That's it. I think
that was just bad.
If they would have changed the name, they thought it was a screen. I don't need a screen for it, and that's what they just said. I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah, the Switch was the right implementation to go with that idea. But the point that I'm getting at is not to dunk on Nintendo, but Nintendo does not come close to bringing in the kind of money that Sony does, and they're not really competing anywhere close. And Xbox right now, in terms of revenue at least, is where Nintendo is at. So or higher than where Nintendo is at. So I'm saying all this to say the whole point is great games alone. And we knew that.
Yeah, we
We
did.
knew that. You and everybody, and by the way,
Yep.
people are either pretending to be stupid or worse, actually stupid.
No, I think they're just confirming my suspicions.
Which is
that they're stupid.
Okay, yeah, sure, right? So this is the thing. This is what he was talking about, and this is not any Phil whisper or Phil must be protected at all costs. I'm just saying, use your brain, right?
Well, think for
And
yourself is really what
make
you should be
memes.
saying, because that's what people are a bunch of lemmings.
So,
and a lot of people in this community, I hate to say it, but they're lemmings. They follow in. You know, if one says this, they just follow blindly until they all walk off a cliff. It's ridiculous.
So all I'm saying is, we know what he meant. Let's stop pretending the emperor is wearing clothes, right? And acknowledge the elephant in the room. So Starfield will be great. So will Hellblade. So will
Forza. Yeah.
So will Forza. Those will be great. Those aren't enough. And again, Phil did give people the ammo because he didn't follow up with the sentence, but maybe he thought people had common sense. So that's all.
He should have known better.
Or he was out of sorts. Honestly,
they purchased TCL televisions. There's no common sense over there. None at all. There's no excuse for that.
You know, Hargeet, I want to just ask your opinion on this. If this winds up coming to fruition, and it appears, because remember, you know, now first of all, I just want to give a correction. Idle Sloth just did an update to this story. Now, this story was broke today. Apparently, this information that has been sent to these two very, very high-powered entities in Reuters and Bloomberg is like 2 weeks old. But we had heard, Hargeet, even a month ago, that the EU was going to look at this deal. As a matter of fact, the head of the EU Commission actually just said the other day, we're going to do things differently than the CMA. When I read that, to me, and maybe because I'm reading with emerald glasses, that is indicative of they're going to approve it, because again, I said this multiple times after the original block, the CMA got it wrong the same way they got it wrong with the numbers, had to come back and say, yeah, we're taking the Sony off the board, and they still blocked it for the 5,000 users versus the now 18 million users for cloud, which is ridiculous. Yeah. There were a lot of people that were down. We saw all the frauds. King talked about it. Everyone showed their colors. Is where hashtag hold the line came from, obviously. But if this does come to fruition on Monday, I think there's a different step to Microsoft going into this show in June. My question to you is, obviously, again, I don't know this for a fact. There is rumors that that new piece of artwork that is going around that Aaron Greenberg changed his icon to, if you look at it real closely, you can see that it incorporates both Avowed and Hellblade 2, which is expected to not only show, but not show like CG trailers, actually show gameplay. There's also rumors, Hargeet, that these two entities are going to open and close the show, which would be dope, especially when you put gameplay there. If this comes to pass, and Monday we wake up and we hear that the EU has accepted whatever concessions they accepted and they passed the deal, this is going to be a much different June for Microsoft, because they're not going to be on their back foot. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it really comes down to how much they can actually do to close it, right? So one of the big things would be that Diablo is coming out, I think, a little bit before the showcase.
Yeah, it's actually on the 1st. I'm pretty sure that they confirmed that it's going to be out for people who pre-ordered the deluxe edition. I think you could play it on the 1st, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and marketing for that has been Xbox, right? So, what would be interesting is if they could bring that to the showcase to say, hey, that's going into Game Pass, right?
That would be pretty dope.
How that happens, I don't know, right? So the CMA is the block, right? There is no block today in the U.S., because the FTC hasn't put a federal injunction in place,
Right.
so there's nothing stopping them from closing here. If the EU says good, they may find some weird way to just say we're going to leave it open in the UK but close everywhere else, and they own them before the showcase even starts. That could change things, right? It would certainly make things interesting, but I don't know what level they're going to go to and how much that might tick off the CMA. And I don't know how much of that market they want to keep. Like, to me, the cloud thing is just such a laughable thing, but it is where they are. And I don't know how easy it is for them to override that, right? The CMA, they're not under the same guise as the EU is or the US, where it could go to court, right? They basically just have a little group that says, okay, I think you might have gotten this wrong. Can you go back and reconsider, right? That's all they really have, right? Whereas here, a judge can say, no, you're way off your rocker. Sorry, this is out, right? And like, so there's just checks and balances, right? I mean, in most cases, obviously the judicial branch would also follow the same thing. They would say, no, it looks like the analysis is good. They got it right. So you're still blocked. But, they have the ability to say, no, it's just wrong. Right. And they can make their case. And in this case, I think they do have a case. It's really stupid. But anyway, I don't know what they do with that. So that would be the big question. It could be we walk into June Showcase and Microsoft owns ABK. That's a very different status.
I think that is entirely too optimistic, sir.
It is.
I'm not saying it won't happen, but that timeline is
the other
wild.
one is that they're very close, but they're not quite there, right? And in which case, it really is no different. So then the showcase just stays the way it is, and we keep dragging this out until we figure out the UK status, right? So it's probably more of that, but there's nothing saying that they don't just do it because they have a July deadline to close before they have to renegotiate or pay a penalty, right? So
renegotiate.
Yeah, so they'd have to either renegotiate or they just say we're going to close. I don't know. That's really up to Microsoft to figure out what they want to do with ABK there. But that's the big thing that could change, right? If they say we're closing, we could be walking into a June showcase where they own ABK. That would be very different.
And you'll be walking into a June showcase with King in full fatigues.
You coming?
Are
you going?
And King,
I'm not going to say.
Some people will be walking into a firing squad.
Yeah, that's
some of the frauds.
Yeah, but I'm not going to.
Fraud alert's going to be coming out for sure, King. I would imagine.
Yes or no, but I'm working some things out.
Okay. I'll talk to you afterwards because I the key lease, we can work that out too. So
yeah,
we can work through that.
I'm not gonna stick around for those. I'll explain. Me and you'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Listen, guys, gals, I want to thank the near 900 people. Now, we thought I was gonna get Post up. He got hung up, so maybe he will join us tonight. I'll see if he's available because he's a busy dude. I do want to catch up on the super chats before we get to the outros, and quite a few of them. First of all, the first one of the day comes from Tom from Toonami, drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, what if Lena Khan is saying this now because she knows the EC has a section in their report where it will come out that the FTC tried to persuade the EC to block? I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, remember when she said, when Lena Khan actually said, hey, the EC, told us that, we heard from the EC that Microsoft didn't, said they were going to keep games multi-plat and they changed their mind. And the EC was like, whoa, hold on a sec. We never said that. I don't know. Lena Khan might find herself in some trouble.
Here's the thing about that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though. Is there?
Yeah. The thing is, the reason I don't want to go down that road is for the same reason King said. This is a person, this is a human being.
Yeah, of course it is. Yes, 100%. Nobody wants anybody in trouble.
Also, like, she didn't get this top job for no reason. She's a brilliant mind. You may disagree, and 100%. I do disagree with the decision being made here, but the principle of it I do understand because big tech is out of control. I just don't think this deal is of import. You should be worrying about Amazon and some of the businesses they're putting out of businesses.
Correct.
But that being said, she is super smart, and I don't think she would be dumb enough to break any of those rules. So again, if something happened, the truth will come out. But I really doubt you're going to find any sort of smoking gun. And I doubt that she would be dumb enough to do anything that would jeopardize
her ideology is sound, but she's also
else.
very stubborn. and stubbornness makes people do dumb things.
Well, I don't
regardless
think
of how
look
many
at
pieces
things
of paper
pragmatically.
you have.
I don't
So,
think she's dumb enough to leave a paper trail.
I
or
would
give you
hope
the
not.
footprint.
No.
So
Well-
what you would do is you would go and talk face to face. I'm just saying.
Yep. Well, I'll add this: the FTC does have an international role because we don't look. The U.S., whether we understand this or not, is the global market. It just is. We are the ones that allow that all to happen, and so the FTC does look at things as a global thing as well as a U.S. thing.
Yes.
And so we have very much done that over the years, where we coordinate with other countries to say, will this impact you? Will this impact the entire world? Right? It may not be an impact here, but it might be an impact in Asia, or it might be an impact in Europe. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that they coordinate. That does happen.
But the thing is,
right?
they do coordinate, but it's bigger picture, and it's not during active
litigation.
And this is according to Lena Khan in the statement that she had to make when she was asked about this. So they discuss things, but they don't discuss active cases. And so the question is
coordination of industry, right? So make
broad
sure
coordination.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
The thing in question is that people are saying, did they speak specifically about this case? And I think I don't think that they would be dumb enough to.
I hope. Well, again, it's hopefully
that's,
not.
We're all giving our opinions. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I think they came to the wrong conclusion, but I don't think they're stupid. So, you'd be stupid to go and talk about these.
No,
she's a lawyer, right? She's a lawyer.
I've said this before.
She said she's a liar.
Lena Khan's ideology on protecting consumers from allowing big tech to run rampant is sound. There's no doubt about it. It's just this particular deal with the way that she intended to block it, the way she rushed to judgment to block it, to simply do the block was wrong, because even though her principles are sound, and like I said, you can applaud that. She's not a dumb woman. She's very, very intelligent. And she and like I said, her ideology is sound. For this particular case, though, it's just the ideology doesn't match what is actually being done. That's just a fact. We have the Black John drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Good afternoon, everyone. King, hold the line," in all caps. And of course,
is that the next T-shirt, Lord King?
I think it should be.
Yes.
I think hashtag hold the line. Absolutely.
The merch
Hold the line.
is being made as we speak.
I love it.
I need the meme to come out so we could use it.
Oh,
Right.
a lot of people has grabbed it and doing things
Run wild with it. Yeah.
Like they ran wild with the other one I did, but this one is crazy.
Yeah, Web Dave drops a $2 super chat and says, "Preach King David, hold the line." Of course. Your baby Farva, what's going on, brother? How the heck are you? He drops a $5 super chat and says, "What's up, guys? King working OT. I see my good brother everywhere. Hold the line." Bunty in the chat. Bunty, what's going on, brother? He drops a $2 super chat and says, "Boom and King, what a combo." Thank you for that. And a Buck in the chat drops a very generous $10 super chat and says, "Boom, loving this panel, King, Everborn, Hargeet, good show." And King, I definitely ran into this brother at Nell's back in the days. Only King and Everborn might know what I am talking about. And lastly, Review Scientology USA drops a $5 super chat and says, "Sony will have issues getting into the gas industry. In the beginning, rumored they just canceled the new co-op sci-fi game that was in development for 3 to 4 years. I believe Naughty Dog was working on that. I did not hear that as of yet, but if it did get canceled, well, that sucks.
It must have been really bad then.
Must have been bad. Yeah, it just must have been really bad. Oh, wait a second. Hold on before we get out of here. Post up line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold the line. Hold the line.
Oh, no. Hold the line. Now,
Hey, I'm
folks,
glad somebody told him.
now, listen, we were going to shut this party down because I didn't think you were going to make it, but now we got to keep the party rolling, folks. Don't go anywhere. Post up.
Add
Listen.
an extra 100 more. We done. Hold the line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Speaking of hold the line, first of all, post up. If you're not already subscribed to him, I'm going to add all of his information in the on the video. It's 2 clicks. click to subscribe, click to get on his name, click to subscribe, and if you're generous, and you should be, click the third time to do the bell icon. Post up. You have been right in line with Florian Muller, running since the block, talking about, it's not over yet, and people were clowning. We saw the clown show come out, and it was very disappointing. I lost a lot of respect for a whole bunch of people that are now been put on the pay no mind list because of the way they treated you and Florian and the Xbox community as a whole. It was gross. This new information that's dropped comes the way of two monster sources. Like this isn't just someone's opinion or Johnny down the block that brings cans and cashes the cans in, that heard from his friend Johnny Two-Tone. This is like legit stuff here. Let's get your take on this. What does the EC passing this deal potentially on Monday, which is going to be ahead of the 23rd, which is when it was supposed to originally be announced. Now they're saying it's the 15th. How big of a deal is this for Microsoft?
I mean, this is huge. If you go back and look at previous EC cases, they always pretty much come out with their definitive final resolution prior to the final date. You know what I'm saying? So Microsoft is the 22nd. They're going to put it out on the 15th. So it's huge. And the reason why I say this is because even from what I understand and from what I was told, the CMA decision came as a surprise to Microsoft and Activision. It was a last minute. It was a last minute 180. Now, what happened in between those 2 weeks in terms of the downtime where they went black on Microsoft, I don't know if within those 2 weeks, that's when they visited Lena Khan.
We were just talking about that.
And I heard Everborn Saga saying, well, I don't think we are from the United States of America. We know how our government works. You feel me? I won't put nothing past her. She knows she ain't got to win here. So what she gonna do?
Well, I didn't say she was an elected official. Those are idiots that we have. She was chosen for her intellect.
And she's got a sweeping agenda that she's trying to press and push. And if she can't get a win here with Microsoft, it was smart of her to try to use the UK, because the European Commission, Vestager, which is the EVP of the European Commission, shut her down last year. You feel me? When she tried to run with the Bethesda.
Yes.
Then back in November of last year, the European Commission was ready to do concessions back then with Microsoft. And when Lena found out, she ran to block the deal. Soon as she found out, she ran and blocked the deal. So, and the European Commission has always been of the point saying that, look, if we can get some concessions, we approve the deal. We don't have any issues. And here we are. So I think they're going to approve it. I think China is going to fall in line with Europe, since China is trying to step in the middle between Europe and U.S. relations. I think China, once European fall in line, China going to fall in line with them. I think the CMA is trying to set themselves up, since they broke off from the UK with the whole Brexit thing. They're trying to set themselves up as one of the biggest regulatory bodies in the world. Oh, we don't take no mess, this and that. So if the European Commission approve, and then you get China.
Hey, post up.
Yeah.
You said the CMA said if a dime bag gets sold in Central Park, they want to cut.
They won't. Let me tell you something. They out there with their chests out. Now, Microsoft know they got to win in America, right? They know they got to win. EC approve, and then China fall in line. Who that leaves? That leaves the CMA out there by themselves against the world. Because you already got to understand.
After Brexit.
Right. You have to understand. It's 6 regulatory bodies that already approved. But according to Microsoft recently, it was 9. So we don't know who the other 3 are. So the CMA, what you mean you're gonna, especially with the nonsense you put in that final paperwork.
It's ridiculous. You posted that, and thank you for that, because you really broke it down. It was laughable at best. Post up.
Every analyst and investor pretty much in the world has came out and pretty much laughed at that final decision and the reason why they took that stance. They laughed at it. Okay. So I still think with the two lawyers that they got, Activision winning got the best lawyer in the EU. Microsoft got one
got the
too.
Queen's lawyer.
You know what I'm saying? Microsoft got one of the top guys who's known for winning against these regulatory bodies in terms of the tribunal commissions and stuff.
Got a hitter.
Yep.
Look,
He known to beat them up.
and you can see Bobby out there pushing that scope of irrationality. You know what I'm saying?
Bobby wants his gold watch and his check so he can go. He got a yacht that he needs
exactly.
to
be So post up. This is a question, right? And this is a question for King as well as and the rest of the panel. When you see Bobby come out there, I know he got some money on the line, but does he sound like a man who will extend that deal past the deadline? Because that's the big question. He's been asked about it outright several times. Now, before you answer, I do understand that extending the deal means a slight renegotiation. Yeah. And if you just go ahead and say, we are definitely going to extend the deal, then Microsoft may get more favorable terms and you're not doing your job. So part of his job is to play coy to get the best deal in the renegotiations. I understand that. But what if this thing actually does, if Hargeet is not right, and I hope Hargeet is right, but if Hargeet is not right and this extends past the July 18th deadline, does Activision extend it?
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Bobby and them got too much invested, right?
According to Dustin Lambert, Bobby Kotick has $182 million.
But this also not up to Bobby, right?
No,
because
it's
up to the board.
It again.
Yeah,
it's up to the board. They would not have went out to get all these appeal lawyers if they didn't feel like
that's what I said. That's actually what I said. That's
unless they're trying to earn their $3 billion.
It's bigger than the $3 billion.
It's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that.
And at the end of the day, they, like me and Boom was talking, you got to spend money to make money.
Yep.
They have to spend money on these lawyers, and these lawyers by the hour is no joke. And every motion that's being pushed, and every time they talk,
right now,
they are making bucks. And I told people before, a long time ago, they saw the deal come through because everybody's like, oh well, Sony went out and brought Bungie, or Sony went out and brought these people. They brought smaller companies that can go cross the line. You wet a couple of people whistles as you go past. This is too
what they could
big
afford
of money floating past.
Yeah,
everybody want their whistle wet. Pause. They need to have this happen. So once everybody is satiated, the deal goes through. That's and when you playing in big money and small money and small minds won't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you don't do deals and you don't have business dealings, right? Mm-hmm. But you understand this, ball of talk or whatever. Mm-hmm. You make sure that bounce is taken care of.
Yeah.
You make sure the bar is taken care of. You make sure security is taken care of. You make sure anybody working the party is taken care of. And you make sure your boys got money in their pockets. And the robber boys that's around, you make sure that they're taken care of. If you miss one person, you run the risk of losing that night.
1,000%.
You have to make sure everyone is good.
Hey, King,
one person is hungry.
King, let me tell you a story. And how this is. I'm going to tell you this on a small scale as a small businessman. Back in 2004-ish, 2005, I opened a restaurant.
Right.
Caribbean restaurant, Gun Hill Road. You know the spot.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
Right by the Jehovah's Witness Church. That's still there. Not too far from Boston Road. Between Boston Road and White Plains Road, Gun Hill Road. Anyway, I'm opening up this restaurant fresh out of college, and I think my stuff don't stink. I'm running the show. I'm a big money man. And then I'm just like, okay, we starting this up, And then I get some people knocking on the door, and they say, "Listen, we're gonna take care of your garbage, right? We're going to handle your garbage situation." But I said, "I already got a guy, right?" And they said, these were Italian guys, and they said, "No, you don't understand. We're taking care of your garbage." If you understand,
I do understand.
If you understand, I know Boom know.
Boom
I
know.
know. I know.
So they said, "We're taking care of your garbage," and that's when I understood who I was dealing with.
Yep.
Right. So sometimes when you want to do business, the right palms got to get greased.
There it is.
Let me say this. And I agree with both of you. I agree with both of y'all. And I do think this deal is the $3 billion is insignificant, right? It's this deal is going to change the landscape of the whole tech industry. It's not just gaming. This goes beyond gaming because you have big
Argeet's
tech.
been saying that for weeks.
Yeah. You have big tech, you have big corp, small corp. They're trying to see, right, in terms of these regulatory bodies that's trying to push agendas to get more power, to get more control. They're trying to see if this deal passes, what we can get away with in terms of what we'll be able to go out there and acquire. And if it don't, what we won't be. And then what are the policies and laws that's going to be created during this process or even out of this process and how that's going to affect us. It's bigger than gaming, right? Yeah. And when the CMA blocked, you see all the companies, the investors, the analysts coming out,
dude, out of the stock market in the UK.
Yeah, and then it's an effect on the UK economy. 2019, they lost 440 businesses. What's the name? ARM just delisted from their stock exchange and came over. And so, and that's what Microsoft was, that was the stance Microsoft was taking too. Irrationality. And then, hey, if you're not careful on an economical level, this can affect your whole landscape for the next 10 or 20 years. Because businesses and big corp will say, okay, y'all a little bit too shady and too tight over there. We don't like the way y'all working over there.
You better be careful.
If y'all gonna give us these many problems, ain't no need of us being over there in anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So this deal sets precedents for the tech industry as a whole. And if it goes through, then you know what I'm saying? I see it going through. They didn't have no when Disney and all that was buying up every damn thing and Fox and all that stuff.
But you know, those deals need to be done. Yeah. They was looking at you know, how the Discover deal and stuff was, and, you know, people separating things. So divestiture is a possibility.
Yep.
I don't think is an inevitability. You understand?
Well, in terms of UK?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think
when you say divestiture, are you talking about
separating Call of Duty or separating cloud away? And it's cloud now. So
when
you know,
so when you say separating it, you mean like no, we're gonna spin off the
cloud
Activision business?
No, well, what you would do is you could put some concessions in, right? Because if they bring that up, then you could put concessions in. And I think Hard Geek alluded to it earlier. Actually said it earlier that okay, so we charge you guys $2 or whatever for cloud.
Exactly.
You know, and if you choose not to use it, you just won't be able to access it. It'll be grayed out on, you know, going to use xCloud. Yes. And a benefit that we have here that we take for granted, and this is all over the world, a lot of benefits that we take for granted here aren't cleared in other countries. So they don't get a chance to get those benefits. And this is where we're seeing in real time how laws happen and how certain things get excluded from certain regions for whatever reason. And it will be very unfortunate for the CMA to do this to their constituents and their populace. But if everyone else agrees to said deal, but you, then you need to explain to everybody why they won't be receiving this benefit where everybody else pays this amount of money and gets the whole package, but they need to pay more, or it's absolutely excluded from this group of individuals. So
they definitely gonna have to explain to their to the gamers in there.
That's right. Why do we have to pay, or why don't we get Call of Duty and Game Pass, but right across the pond, everyone else is doing it?
Yeah.
Right.
I want to throw this question out, and anyone, please, by all means, answer it, because it comes the way of a super chat from Highlander 001, and I find this. I forgot about this. This is very interesting timing, and it's very interesting to the conversation we're having. Highlander drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Remember, Microsoft's top attorney has just been tapped to be the next head of the EC and the Activision attorney representing the Queen." So there are two. It's a two-pronged question. The EC is getting a new head, and that is the Microsoft attorney that's expected to take that position. And like I said, people are like, "Oh yeah, Activision is gonna back out. They just want their $3 billion." No, they want their $70 billion. And the reason why they're here is because yes, they have the attorney that has represented the Queen that they just locked up. So
not only that, I do want to say this. I think a lot of this during the time of covering this, I think some of the coverage has been one-sided in terms of what Microsoft needs from Activision. But this story is more so about what Activision needs from Microsoft.
Yes, great point.
Brought
Elaborate,
it up a lot
please.
of times, Boom.
They got $13 billion in cash. They'll have $18 billion in cash by the end of the year. We're talking about look, it's bigger than that on this front.
Yeah.
Outside of China, Activision is the biggest mobile developer.
Yes.
They cannot stand alone. They need Microsoft resources. They need Azure. They need their back-end infrastructure. They need all that. They need Microsoft because understand this. Microsoft is number one in AI right now. They're leading the pack. They're far ahead of everybody.
Crazy.
Activision needs that.
Yes.
They need this. Look, Activision needs Microsoft more than Microsoft needs Activision. I know we get caught up in Call of Duty and all that.
I'm gonna say this:
the stock price reflected that after the CMA
always needs more than the buyer, right?
Talk, King.
Because the buyer is the one with the money.
You feel me?
If you're selling, baby, you need. So you always got to keep that in mind. People get it twisted. You know that Microsoft needs so much. Microsoft is the one with the cash. Y'all the one that's in trouble. We just come in and get something that we feel, and this is a bargain price for Microsoft.
Yeah.
Because remember, the stock's value of ABK was dipping because of what Bobby and them was doing.
Yeah.
So Microsoft said, you know what? What we're gonna do is we'll give you 10 cents on the dollar. We'll go a little bit better than what everybody else was trying to offer you. And that deal, dude was like, "Oh,
cash.
$1 that's crazy."
Yeah.
So is that in options or is that that's cash?
It's cash,
bro. This is cash.
You talking about
bring back the truck up.
You feel me?
Back the truck. I keep that inside my gym bag. We good.
And can't nobody
you said that's light work.
That's light work.
You got to think about it. Sony's budget for the year that we just got
got cut again.
Got cut again for acquisition.
Hey, gents, I'm really sorry. That call I was telling you about just came in.
No, sweat it, brother. Thank you so much for joining us for an hour, brother.
If I'm done, I'll come back in. But I'll let you guys go.
For sure.
All right.
Blessings.
See everyone.
Sony's budget was $5 billion. They got that reduced by 20%. So they got 3 and some change. Think about that's for the year. Think about that. And Microsoft said we got $70 billion lying in
cash. Can't nobody else do this.
No,
can't nobody else do this. No stocks. Nobody
putting up no mortgages. Like nobody selling cars. Hold on. Yo, they didn't say, hold on, I'll be right back. I'm a little short.
They say we're gonna give you half in cash or half in stocks. No,
I got a couple of gyms.
Yeah.
Nobody pawning Rolexes. Nah. It's happening.
Yeah.
So be fearful after this for what's next. And it's gonna go. I told people before, and I just really had no doubt. Every time somebody say this or somebody say that, it's gonna happen. It's too much money.
Yeah.
It's too much money, and I know the greed of man.
Yeah,
I know the greed of
too
man.
much too.
Yeah,
it affects too much too. Everybody looking at this game, it affects too much.
Yo, Post, you remember when Microsoft said, "Hey, man, your infrastructure is kind of weak. Here's a couple of million."
Yep.
For your financial. This is what I'm talking about with wetting that palate and making sure everybody is satiated for things to roll through.
Yeah. And they just did a deal with UK Stock Exchange not too long
ago.
That's
what I was talking about.
They invested in an AI company. So Microsoft, the anger comes from what I understand, is that the outcome was different than the conversation we was having.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find out what we sitting up here and y'all leading us down this path and y'all blindside us like this.
Yeah. But that was a conversation that was had on the back end.
It was a conversation without saying too much. It was a conversation that was had that led Microsoft to believe in Activision that it was a go with the CMA. Then you go dark for 2 weeks. Communication, and you flip the script and blindside us like that. After you done just led us to, we thought we was on. So
yeah,
of course
but you didn't pay Tommy, and Tommy came in and heard everybody else get paid. So
exactly.
Tommy vetoed the deal.
Exactly. So of course we're gonna feel some type of way. Of course we're gonna come out, because look, we're one of the biggest software companies in the world. The decisions we make in your territory, other companies they will follow our lead pretty much.
Post up. That's what started happening. You started seeing people pull out of the stock market. You saw people not wanting to invest in the UK for this reason, because of how poorly they made this decision. This is, at the end of the day, folks, this is a bad decision by the CMA. Yeah. And ultimately, if the EU passes on Monday, as it's been predicted, that's going to be good for gaming. That's going to be good for the tech industry. That's going to be great for Xbox gamers, because again, I said this in the opening, I'm a person that has a pension. I'm very lucky, and I worked real hard to get that, but it does have a ceiling. And why I want this deal to go through isn't because I want to win a console war. I don't give a shit. I just want my Game Pass subscription value to continue to grow. And I will tell you this, if you think otherwise of that, then you're just being knucklehead.
It helps PlayStation gamers too, whether they realize it or not. If you take the comments of, hey, we aren't competing consoling, PlayStation.
Well, we don't care.
This helps do that. It just does. Association with Call of Duty and Xbox will help. It's not going to change the landscape, but it puts pressure on Sony.
Look,
yes, so they have to respond.
Look, we don't care,
which just means better things for Sony, PlayStation fans.
We don't care about them old metrics. We don't get your hardware. We don't care about that.
Yo, Post. I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm so different. Like, I'm listening to everybody, and I'm supposed to, in my heart, I'm supposed to be a nice guy, like, gonna help everybody.
Kumbaya. No. Did you see my rant yesterday? No. Yeah. Kumbaya. No.
Yeah, man. Yo, listen, it's gonna help them die faster. Right? Look, I mean, listen, I don't care what you say. I don't care how you smell it, how it's dealt. I knew once Sony got control of the marketing rights of Call of Duty, it wasn't going to bode well for us.
Yeah.
And that's when they proceeded to start leaping and bounding and flying all over the place.
Fact.
When this happens, and remember I told you guys, you should have signed.
You feel me?
You should have signed for that.
You don't have a deal.
Because you're going to come back to the table and be like, you was handing out those 10-year deals. Can I have a 10-year deal? We fresh out of those.
Hey, yeah, they gotta know it's levels.
Like yesterday's.
It's levels to this, right? You getting selling 100 million pieces of hardware in a generation versus us getting 100 million subscriptions in a month. What are we doing here? It's a difference. The money is different.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
return on
I
investment is
don't
coming.
know what business person. I don't care if you have a business degree, you don't. Ask yourself, just based on the dollar perception, right? Let's keep it super simple, guys. Average gamers, the normies, the casual gamers, as they know, we know they buy 2 to 3 games a year, right?
Yeah.
It's $180 at best, right? But Microsoft doesn't want you to buy 3 games. They want that $180 to come the way of your yearly subscription. And while you're there, you're going to be like, you know what? I like Call of Duty. I'm gonna drop $20 on the next DLC or the next gun skins because I got it for nothing. Because most people equate getting games in Game Pass as for free because $15 ain't the skin off anyone's teeth.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at it like this. You gotta Activision has about over 300 and some million monthly active users across their whole ecosystem. Microsoft was 120 million. You mean they go from 120 to 400, and you know they're going to incorporate that 300 million that they get from Activision. They're going to incorporate that into the game. They're going to try to transition that into
Talking about the BattleNet.
Yeah, with the BattleNet, with all of them, they're going to somehow find a way to transition Activision's monthly active users into Game Pass, into the Xbox ecosystem. That's the breadwinner right there. That's why Phil said, "Look, we're not trying to out console. We don't look. We think it ain't about that. It ain't about that no more.
Yeah,
the landscape is changing. We know we're a step ahead of y'all in that transition. We're going to try to get there before everybody." What about selling no damn hardware when we told y'all it don't matter? We put you at the center, meaning we put that computer, that laptop, that cell phone, that Xbox, all those hardware, we put that around you, and you make the choice on how you want to come in and access what we're giving you. You feel?
It's funny you mentioned that, and you really broke it down unbelievably. The rumor, folks, if you don't know, that the Asus or the Asus, whatever you want to call it, ROG, right? Well, apparently the head of hardware for Xbox is going to be at that presentation speaking. Did they do a deal? Because that's what I'm hearing.
Well, no, they whatchamacallit. Okay, so the thing with that is, and you go to lordofthegaming.net, Cog got a chance to talk to everybody that was there on the exclusive thing. That hardware was made from the ground up with Microsoft involved. All right. So Microsoft was involved with the operating system. That's why it uses Windows 11 as a fundamental base. And this machine, just like the G Cloud, is supported by Microsoft. You know, the G Cloud is supported in a way that, hey man, you want to use this? Hey, Game Pass, go do your thing. This will have Windows 11. Full suite of Windows 11, and not like curated Windows 11, no, the full
side loaded Windows 11,
full thing, and Game Pass there, and Game Pass downloadable to the device. So what Microsoft did in one fell swoop, what everybody was saying, yo, they need to make a portable.
Yeah,
they made 2. They gave you one that you could play via the cloud, and they gave you the other, which you can download to the machine. Now, that's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, it's gonna be $700.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Microsoft was involved.
They was involved,
right? Depending on what power level you want.
So it's like what they doing in VR. Say, look, we don't have to. We got all these third parties out here with all these VR headsets. Why would we have to waste money on that when they can?
Y'all make it,
and we'll support y'all from a software
take the risk.
level.
We'll just partner.
The cloud part of it. This is why I think it's dead, because the Rogue Ally just killed any reason for it to exist. You're gonna get something that's $600. Literally plays everything locally. At $700, it plays it the same as a PS5 in your freaking hand. Tell me that's not good enough. At what point isn't it good enough, right? And this isn't a no name. This is AMD's GPU, Zen 4 cores, RDNA 3. This is no joke.
Wait,
This is
what?
literally it's a
RDNA
console.
3?
Yes.
It's
yes,
RDNA
3, correct.
Zen 4, so it's a higher spec than what we get with our Xbox
So
and
that's where that
PlayStations.
double performance come from.
And it's like it's crazy. 8.6 T-flops. I don't know. What
Their
the spec of
tagline
the
is "We
CPU
play
is, but it's
everything."
like 3.5 gigahertz, 8 core, 16 thread, 16 gigs of memory, NVMe storage. It's crazy. And $700 in your hands, you're getting a PS5. Just think about that. 120 hertz display. It's nuts. And like that's today. Imagine 5 years from now. And
you could do cloud and
yes.
You can, and it's full Windows. You can run Steam. You can run the CDPR GOG, right? You could do Epic. Anything doesn't care. Whatever you want, all the games are available to you. Everything.
That's why I was so upset that I didn't make that interview. Because we had the VIP. I cried in the car because I was trying hard. If people don't think I really had a tear in my eye, I had a tear in my eye because I heard rumblings of it, and then I got the spreadsheet of it, and I said, "Hell no, that's a lie." And then I saw the pictures of it, and I saw that it had the light up stuff, and I was like, "Oh my God, it looks amazing!" And then we got the ability to show up there and get a private hands on. And thank God COG was able to go, and me and Sovereign was gonna pull up for sure. But Sovereign had to double work, and I finished too late. We had 2 times to go. So it was the early time COG went, and I would have loved to just been there. But he did everything right. He got everything right. The machine is an absolute monster,
and it's going to be incorporated. When you look at that machine, you're going to think Xbox, and I think that's the whole point of getting in.
Yeah, I mean the controller, the buttons, exactly.
You know what was so impressive for me? Xbox. Watching COD video when he was playing the game, right, and when after he exited the game, to realize that he had multiple storefronts running, multiple things in the background running, and the game was still like fluid,
doing this thing,
and I was in a chat. I was like, "You had all that running in the background, and you was playing." He was like, "Yeah." I knew right then. I'm like, "Man, that's impressive."
Yeah,
because I was kind of holding off from the Steam deck, or whether I was going.
I just sold my Steam Deck into anticipation of this because I'm a plug and play guy. I don't have the technical skills of a Kay Asante who could break these things down and get everything to work. It's way over my mohawk. So I was like, you know what? Let me get rid of this beast. I only used it once, literally once. So I got the loot. I'm buying a $700 one day one because I'm gonna be able to plug and play. It says Xbox Game Pass. I press the button, it plays. I download the game to it, and I'm good. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot thank the near 900 people that tuned into this impromptu podcast. I cannot thank Hargeet Chani, Lord King David, Post Up, Everborn for taking the time out of their busy day to pop on. Tonight at 7 p.m., we're going to continue this conversation, but we're going to be talking about the show, folks. Jez Corden says he's hearing some hot rumors, and he ain't going to spoil. Well, I heard 2 myself, and I might kind of let the cat out of the bag because there's a picture floating around that might suggest that, Aaron Greenberg out there, stoking the fires as Aaron is known to do. Take a look at his Twitter picture. It's changed. And that Twitter picture I used specifically for the thumbnail tonight. And if you look really, really close at it, it incorporates 2 games, Avowed and Hellblade 2, which suggests...
Phil told you.
Yeah, man. So that we may get gameplay to open and close that show. But 7 p.m. tonight, folks, Primetime Gaming proper will be live. Of course, let's get to the outros. But before we do, I just got to catch up on a few more super chats, gentlemen. We have Lieutenant Hulk. Drops a very generous $5 super chat and says this: shout out from the BX 149th and 3rd to the NYC OG Gamers Boom and panel. Hit that like button. Hashtag TTS. Thank you for that, Lieutenant Hulk. Mark Q Man 05 drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, shoot, Redfall needed that AI. Yeah, it does. The AI is just straight up dumb. You've seen it in there. They'll fix it, definitely. But like I said, I put 55 hours in, I beat it last night at midnight, and I got to tell you, with all its shortcomings, I really, really had a good time. I enjoyed it so much, folks, that I started a new character. That's how much I enjoyed the game. But I forgot that this is all about console wars and not having fun. So #fun. Drawn TJ drops a $5 super chat and says, I thought the show was tonight. Nice to see you guys. Everyone, please hit the like button. The deal will go through. Absolutely, brother. And yes, we'll be back here 7 p.m. This was, like I said, a bonus episode. Chargasm drops a very generous $2, so £2 super chat and says, King David with a crown. Indeed. Blessings. And Mario 187. That's a very generous.
The killer Mario.
The killer Mario 187. Drops a $2 super chat. Says Microsoft should purchase ROG from Aces. They have a partnership, brother. They don't have to purchase. They're a team.
Why? Yeah, no. Why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? Cut that out.
Yeah, well, they're pulling a Sony, what Sony gets from obviously Square. But listen, let's get to the outros. King David, look, Sunday's ILP, phenomenal as always. And obviously, this is where hashtag hold the line comes from. Sell your brand, brother. You got a lot going on. I think you got a show tonight with Attic, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was yesterday. We did.
That was yesterday.
R&R,
okay,
yeah, we did R&R with the Lords yesterday.
Okay, so sell the brand. Talk about about the website, which has incredible writers. You guys have done a lot of big things over there, as well as on ILP on Sundays. Talk about it.
Well, thank you, Boom. Thank you, Everborn. Thank you, Hard Geek. Thank you, Post Up, pulling up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When he told me, who was gonna be there, because me and Boom was talking.
We were talking earlier,
and I was getting home, and we was just like, "Yo, let's do it." And we did it. Shout out to the 900 people that pulled up. That was fantastic. I'm trying not to sneeze. We have R&R with the Lords Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's our show where Attic and myself, we talk about movies, entertainment, everything that's going on. So if you want to know what's going on with Ezra Miller or Jonathan Majors, which is a lot of stuff, definitely bring that to you and get that to you. You can go to lordsgaming.net, where we have the finest in writers and the great reviews. I personally, myself, not because I'm invested in it, but because I love it, think we're better than IGN.
I wouldn't doubt that at all, because IGN is how you spell ignorant. So there you go.
Yeah, especially what they just recently said. But
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Keep messing up, we'll keep picking up. And ILP. Iron Lords podcast, Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just a bunch of friends having a good time talking about games and cutting up and just having a good time. Just having a good time with the space. Everybody, just understand. And, you see the hold the line stuff. This goes for you PlayStation dudes, too. When it starts to look bleak, you just don't, pack up your stuff and just give in. You hold the line, you stay strong, you hold firm. And even if it's just you by yourself.
Facts.
You was born in this world by yourself. You're going to go out this world by yourself.
Yep.
You could be in a room full of people and still be alone. But if you are secure within yourself, you're never alone. All right. So understand that, man. Have strength within yourself. And that was all. I was just trying to give motivation to individuals. And sometimes, people need that motivation, because when you spend your last hard-earned bucks and then you have everybody around you laughing at you, that's not a good feeling. So I was talking to those individuals that felt like, did I make a bad purchase? No, you didn't, because I'm here with you. So
strong points. As always, King. You never disappoint. Hargeet Chani, listen, I didn't see your rant. Please drop it into my DM so I can see where this came from, because I want to see an unhinged Hargeet. He's always smiling, so you just never know, right? I tell you, the ones that smile, the ones that get you when you're not looking. Hargeet, sell your brand, brother. Talk about game. Talk about game.
The sauce. Oh yeah.
Talk about the sauce. And lately, it's been some septic sauce in there. Gaz showed up to my chat the other day, kind of unhinged himself, talking about Redfall sucks hashtag. And we love Gaz. Gaz is just, he listen. You cannot argue. You get what you get with him. He wears it on the cuff. That dude is as smart as a whip. When I tell you, That guy knows his business. He is an M&M attorney. He has been in the business. So again, he might be the comical guy, right? He might be the funny one. But that dude is sharp as a tack, and of course you can't discount Asa. This again, another silent but deadly kind of a dude. Talk about it.
He is. Yeah. So I'll be on Go Live this Saturday. So check that out at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then so my rant was on RDX right near the beginning. So check that out. Tuesdays 8 p.m. Eastern.
With Dealer Gaming and Company.
Yes, with Dealer. And then obviously check me out here. We'll be doing our normal show, Primetime Gaming, tonight, 7:00. Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern. And then I'm not on any social media, but you can check me out on Xbox, gamertag HJohnny.
Take that. Stay away from that social media. Sometimes it's a curse. King Webb says, "Hold the line, Brooklyn, New York, in the house."
Let's go,
brother.
Hold the line. Yep.
Yes. Hold the line. I say the shirt is coming, and I'm gonna buy my merch from the ILP store. No doubt about that.
I ain't get my merch yet, Boom, but it's coming though.
All right. Don't sweat it. I'm adding 4 new designs. Actually, Xlog has got 2, and Breakfast with Boom has 2. So I'm adding some more stuff. Post up, brother. Your channel is amazing. What the work that you have done in the last couple of months has been nothing short of astounding. You have been keeping us up to date. All of your knowledge that you have dropped upon us is digestible and understandable. You break it down for someone like me. Like, I know law, but I know patrol guide law. I know penal law. I don't know business law, but every time I read one of your tweets, I understand more. Please sell your brand, brother. Talk about the best place on YouTube for all of the ABK updates, not to mention your personal opinion, and more importantly, where can people follow you on social media?
Oh, you can follow me, man. Subscribe. You feel me? Let me come up though. Subscribe to a brother on YouTube at State of Gaming. You feel me? On Twitter at postup_SOG. I just try to go and get as much information as I possibly can in the simplest format and just consolidate it into one place, because all this merger and stuff is new to everybody.
Yeah,
I'm not a lawyer and attorney, but I know who to go to get the information that's digestible. So shout out to everybody that's that rocked out. Look, let me tell you something. King, brother, when you did your speech and you came on screen, you had the cigar and you had the hat on. When you said that, you my DM asked, what are we going? Oh, I said, thank you. I was screaming at the monitor, brother. Thank you, son. Look, let me tell you something. When they blocked us in, man, I was called all types of names.
I saw it, dude. It was very disappointing. People just
fun of me, and I kept posting about it.
You held the line
because I knew it was far from over.
Exactly.
It ain't over till it's over.
That's right.
And I'm gonna go down with the ship. Yeah, I said it. I'm going down with the ship.
That's what real men do.
10 toes down. You feel me? Look, stop letting these PlayStation dudes form y'all opinions and y'all perspectives on y'all own ecosystem. You're listening to people that don't even want to be a part of your ecosystem or invested. So why would you take any perspective from
Thank you.
You know what they do, Post, and I hate to jump into your outro.
No, go ahead, brother.
But you know what they do, and what I've seen is the saddest thing in the world. They take one of our best and our brightest, the one that waved the white flag, and they got him over there, and he think he's part of the group. He don't know that right now you suffering from what's that Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, sir.
You have PTSD, my friend.
Yes, sir.
And they got you dressed up. You think they're laughing with you? They're laughing at you.
Indeed, they are.
You are never a part of them because you started off in your community. Now you have ostracized yourself to the point that you can't come back. You are really playing what is that? The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
But you are all the characters. You lack courage. You had no heart.
Talk.
And you want to go home like Dorothy.
You feel me? Talk.
But you can't come back home.
Tap your shoes.
Can't, baby.
You feel me?
You stay over there. But
stay over there. And you see a lot of them out there doing it. You see a lot of them out. I'm selling my Xbox.
Go on, man.
Phil did this. He ain't done nothing. If you understand the vision, you understand how this go. But if you ain't got no understanding of the vision and what they trying to do, then take your on over there. We don't care. We don't care if you're selling your Xbox and putting pictures on Twitter talking about we don't care. Sell it. Sell it. You're gonna be coming right back. You're gonna be coming right back.
The door locked though.
You feel me?
They're gonna be like this.
They're gonna be out there knocking for a minute.
Is anyone home?
But thanks, Hard Geek. Moom, is always a pleasure. King, you already know it's always a pleasure rocking out with you guys, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. Listen, again, folks, I should have said this when there was 900 people here. If you're finding the channel for the first time, we're on the hunt for 13K. It would be greatly appreciated that if you like the banter, if you like the amazing cast of community leaders that I have assembled here today. I do this 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, all different panels, all different opinions. We don't use hate to generate a conversation. We don't use clickbait to get you in here. What you see is what you get. And hopefully you found that the conversation was riveting enough for you to subscribe. Of course, hit the like button on your way out. And of course, for me, okay, folks, a big shout out to all of the super chats. But for me, I close out every show like this because it was instilled in me when I was a kid. It led the man that I am today because of my father, which, by the way, rest in peace, Pops. Today is his birthday. Right?
Man, happy birthday.
He taught us this. It's super important. It may not be important to you, but like I said, it's super important to me. He used to say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you tonight on the newest episode of Primetime Gaming with Mr. Boomstick and Friends.